it's Debbie Gilbert here from the Business Awards show, and I'm the founder of the Best Business Women Awards. And today I am joined by Donna Jackson, who is the founder of Carebusiness Bootcamp. She is a business growth specialist and a CQC advisor, and she specializes in working with people in the health and social care sector. So welcome, Donna.
Thank you so much for having me, Debbie. I'm all excited to be here.
I'm really looking forward to talking to you because I have sadly personal experience of care homes because both of my parents had to go into care homes quite young,
Wow.
and they have both passed away. And so from
Okay.
a personal perspective, I have a lot of interest in what you're doing. Um,
Okay.
and we're going to talk today about your business and how you have your own awards for your clients, which I
That,
love.
yes.
And
Okay.
we're going to talk about a couple of the awards that you've won.
Okay. Thank you.
And I think really we'd also need to talk about why awards in this sector are particularly important, not just for the care homes themselves, but for the people that work in them.
Mm.
So we like to start at the beginning on our show, and we
Mm.
start with Donna Jackson's mini life story.
All
So
right.
what
Good.
took you into this sector?
Oh my
Tell us
gosh.
about
No.
that.
Well, wow. Okay. Thanks again for having me here. And it's amazing for me to share my journey, which, like I suppose many others and their journey has been challenging. I started off not to uh get into the care sector, and it just sort of one thing just led into another. I was a regional manager for the Department of Works and Pension. I went through a bad, well, I wouldn't say bad in case he's listening, separation, and found I needed to sort of take care of my daughter. She's got a learning disability, and I felt I needed to spend some more time with her. How can I do this? Not operating a 9 to 5 job and still trying to get the finances to be a single parent. I made the brave decision to start my own business. Started off doing charitable work because obviously no one knows you. No, no one wants to do business with you. So I had to kind of put myself in the forefront of helping and giving value and letting people see who I am, what I'm capable of. Had a lot of, and that's one thing with working in the 9 to 5, it did give me a wide knowledge base in terms of leadership and managing people. And it's all sort of, and transferable skills which I kind of use now. And I'm so thankful for the 9 to 5 at that particular time. But moving forward and moving on, I started then doing some voluntary work, which took me into business development. And so my first role was a business development manager with a training provider who happened to do training with the health and social care sector. And so that led me into CQC, Care Quality Commission, and what they're about and training. And so alongside my knowledge of leadership and my new form knowledge of the health and social sector, I've kind of combined both and came up with, you know, business consultancy for people who want to set up their own business in the care
Right.
industry. And
Okay.
so I've been doing that for the last 6 years. I now have my own group, and these are over 300 providers in the care sector who I have registered because as a care provider, you need to register with the Care Quality Commission if you're
Mm.
dealing with vulnerable adults. And so I've been registering and setting people up, social workers who have now left being a social worker and now have their own business, nurses, doctors who've now set up their own GPs. And so I have set them off in having their own business and now nurturing and trying and sustaining them to continue in their business and delivering a service to vulnerable
Mm.
adults. So that's what I have been doing for the last 5 to 6 years.
Mhm.
I'm very, very passionate about this because, as you know, helping people does, although it gives you a financial award, it does also reward you, in terms of, people, and it's warm to see, that you're giving back somewhere. At first, I thought, I need to be doing something charitable. And then someone said, but Donna, you are doing something. Helping people set up their business.
Mm.
And sometimes this is a long-term dream that, people have. So I start looking at it in a different light. So something I'm passionate about, I'm getting paid for, and, I'm giving value. I had a leadership session on Saturday with some remarkable women. And it was so nice to see most of them were my own clients. And, we were talking about leadership and strategies and then managing their business. So, yes, and here I am today.
Wow, that's an incredible story. And I
Yes,
love the fact that you took all your knowledge and experience working at DWP, and
yes,
you've created this business, which is really needed because, we are a population which are aging, and
yes.
we're going to have more and more care needs as time goes on.
Certainly.
So what are the challenges at the moment, do you think, in the care sector for people setting up a business
Oh my
in this
gosh.
industry? Is it a lot of
Yeah, yeah. I
challenges?
mean, the care sector is at what should I say, a crossroad. It's definitely at a crossroad, and we face many challenges at the moment in terms of the sector, especially the adult social sector. There is a lot of challenges around recruitment,
Mhm.
and retention of staff. Um, for carers, it's already seen to be a role that is not rewarding, and so it's quite difficult. Leaders trying to manage, say, their financial aspect of it in terms of the payment and the pay rewards for staff. As you know, the local authority, their budgets are diminishing. And
Mm.
as that diminish also, and they rely, care providers in the adult sector and, the domestic care homes rely heavily on the local authority funding,
Mm.
to be able to provide their services. So when that diminishes, so does the business owner, who still have to deliver quality care,
Mm.
have to do that on, um, you know, very low funding. And that is a big challenge
Yeah, it's a
because
huge.
the local authority, and like everybody else, like you said, Debbie, your mom and dad, you wanted the best care for them.
Yeah,
And that comes at a cost.
yeah.
And sometimes uh, care providers are, they are struggling to get both right.
Yeah, I think it's a real
Yeah.
balancing act, and staff shortages as well. And like you said,
Yes,
it's another industry where we're not really paying our staff enough, like nursery
yes,
nurse care.
yes,
Same thing, and yet it's
yeah,
such an incredibly valuable profession to be in. And
that's
it's
right.
sad, it makes me sad that it's not recognized.
Yeah,
And caring for people is an incredibly hard, stressful, and litigious job, because you've got to make sure you tick all your boxes and that you've
exactly,
done everything
exactly.
correctly, and the
Yes,
procedures and
certainly.
processes.
and and
So
and and everything, and those are challenges in itself. You talk about the challenges, so we're going AI, technology,
yeah,
digital. That too is a cost for
yeah.
providers. And so in order for them to ensure that they're compliant with the CQC and ensure that they're minimizing risk, they need technology, but they've got to pay. Subsidy, a lot of it is, £300 a month, £400 a month. And for a small provider now setting up,
Mm.
that is an expense that is really challenging for them. Allocating of the hours and managing staff is also a big challenge for them, especially in the domestic care sector, because we want to ensure back to the care that our loved ones are probably seeing the same carer all the time for this continuity of care. But it's difficult to balance and the rostering and everything else. You've got
Mm.
45 minutes in which it's been allocated by the local authority to provide. How much can they do in 45 minutes?
Not a lot.
Not
Not
a
a
lot.
lot.
And
By
we're
the time
talking
they've come
about
through the door, there's
come
not a
through
lot of
the
time
door,
left.
giving
Mm.
giving them a bath, giving them a meal, showing some TLC. It's not a lot.
No,
Uh,
it's not.
so
No.
there's some really pressures within the
Mm.
care sector at the moment, and that's why for this year, not sorry, for last year we had our award ceremony for the carers and also care providers, to thank them, for what
So
they do
you
because I think
created these awards
so
yourself.
I created these awards for my
It's amazing.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
how long
And
have you been doing these awards for?
well, last year was our first
The
year.
first time you did it?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Um,
actually, not last year. We 2024. Yeah, we did it
yes,
in this
23.
year. This year, yeah,
Oh, this year. So you did it
yeah,
at the
this
House
year.
of Commons. You had
House of
a
Commons,
champagne
yes.
reception.
Oh, it was beautiful. Champagne reception. They were all dressed up. It was beautiful. It was
And so
beautiful.
how did you decide who the winners were going to be? What did you do?
Well, we had different categories.
Hmm.
We've got some of them who've achieved good in their last inspection. So we had, categories like that. Some of them have been even the ones facing challenging. We also gave an award as well,
Mm.
although they might not be at this moment, a financial place, but just to boost them, just to, give them some motivation. We decided, listen, most of them will get an award.
Yeah, but
Just
that's
to keep
nice
them
because
going.
you're trying
Yes,
to sort of recognize their hard work. And,
that's right.
obviously we're still in that sort of post-COVID era where COVID was terrible for
Exactly.
care homes, and it's still a bit of a scary situation. We've got another round of flu virus going around again.
Yes,
So,
yeah,
it's hard
definitely.
in the care
Yes,
sector
yeah.
to work in that sort of pressure. So,
Uh,
for you, the awards were about bringing recognition to them all and giving them a pat on the back, but also, I guess you could see for yourself the wider impact of that, because the wider
yes,
impact is, of course, people like me, when you're searching for a care home or a care provider for your family, it gives you a little bit of added reassurance alongside the CQC rating. I think it
yes.
gives you a little bit of added confidence if somebody's
Yeah,
been given awards.
yeah, definitely. And part of what we do, I don't know if you can see, we've got the Care Business Millionaire Circle. It's just a group we meet on a WhatsApp. They are care providers, and it's an opportunity for me to inspire them, empower them, encourage them.
Mm.
A lot of them are leaders who are struggling. They're trying to balance the day to day of their business and also the strategic part of their business. They need to get clients in order for them to survive. They're trying to survive on whatever financials that they get from the local authority. Sometimes they get bad ratings, and because they get bad ratings, it's got an impact on their business.
Mm.
So they're now struggling. They might have made, have been able to get the technology to support them in quality and efficiency and so on. So it's lots of challenges. And
Mm.
so my role really is to support, give them some of the tools to ensure that they get their CQC rating, they get good. Touch wood, most of my clients, 90%, have received good after I go in, I do a mock inspection.
Well, that's a
And
good idea. So they get
yes,
to know what that inspection is going
yes,
to
yes.
entail.
That's right. Yes, yes,
Mm,
yes. And ensure that they're always compliant.
hmm
We have meetings. I've got a meeting this evening with some of the new ones who are now starting. So I'm always looking to see what support I can give and,
mm.
how I can encourage and motivate. It's a hard road.
Yeah, I know.
It's a
So
hard
you
road.
yourself have won a couple of awards, haven't you?
Yes,
So you've
yes,
won
yes.
Women of the Year. That's an amazing title. I
Yes,
love that one.
yes, yes,
2023. And you've
yes.
also won an award with the Good Samaritans as well.
Yes,
So
that's right.
tell me
Yes,
about
business
those
women.
awards.
Oh well, to be honest, I just got a nomination through my email, and it's good to be recognized.
Mm,
Obviously, the Woman of the Year, I was recognized with a number of, I think there's about 50 women in London. And this is a beautiful time to reflect on what you have done, and to be among amazing people who also give such value.
mm,
Sometimes you get a bit shy and think, oh my gosh, I don't want all this. What's all this about? But I managed to enjoy the evening, and to be recognized, it is good.
mm,
It is a good feeling. And I'm so grateful. I think I've been nominated for another one again. I think it's this month. I'm not quite sure, but it's good. I'm learning to appreciate it,
mm.
and certainly the value, and hence the reason I want to input and ensure that my clients also get all the awards they deserving. So
Mm.
it's what I'm excited.
Yeah, I think, entering awards for a care home or care provider on a local level is quite important if they can enter their county awards, for example, because it really
Yes,
will put them on the map. But
yeah.
also there are awards, aren't there, specifically for the care industry?
Yes, they're so they're larger awards, and I think what happens sometimes the smaller providers are not, recognized, and I suppose that's the reason why we came up with our own,
Yeah,
little awards, because sometimes they're competing with some of the larger providers out
yeah.
there. So it's quite easy to, go unrecognized. So yes, but there are some, awards, CQC. There's a lot of bigger awards out there for some of the larger
Mm.
providers, and sometimes for the carers as well. And that's
Yeah,
important.
which
Yeah,
they should, the carers themselves should be recognised. I'm going to put you
yeah,
on the spot here.
yeah.
So what things really make you go, wow, when you walk into a care home and you think, this is amazing? What sort of things do you think makes a care home outstanding?
I think the staff and the team,
Yeah,
they definitely, when you go into a care home and you see them delivering or responding with the patients or the services or clients, and you could see the passion, and you say, wow, because you could feel the passion, because sometimes you have to have that passion.
yeah,
You have to have that passion. Although it's a job. You're talking about vulnerable adults. You're talking about people who are just, want a little hug or a little shrug or something,
yeah,
just, something. And that always touches me. Sometimes I want to cry. You want to cry because you see, it's like your mom or your dad there.
mm,
You know what I mean? And they're just looking for, just some sort of warmth, that they're not forgotten,
mm,
so it's really good. And I think also when you do see some of the vulnerables being independent, they're still doing things. I love to go in and see they might be setting, still setting the table for other, or sometimes you see them pushing the chair and trying to help others. That is so amazing. That is so amazing. And a lot of, staff and the managers go out of their way. They go far and beyond.
mm,
Um, and the thing is with the CQC, everything is what they call evidence. So
mm,
you need to write everything you do.
mm,
Sometimes these leaders, they just don't have the time.
Mm.
Sometimes they've forgotten all the good things they've done. And when I go in, I have to constantly remind them, well, did you document it? Did you evidence it? So that
Mm.
you can get the recognition, because it's the only way the inspector would know, some of the
Yeah.
good things. And they do a lot of good things, but sometimes it does go, uh, unrecognized, or, because they weren't able to put it down on paper. And they
Mm.
spent so much time with this admin.
Mm.
It takes away so much time for you to write, a scenario of, I helped this one today and the other. It does take a lot of time, and
Mm.
sometimes it's forgotten, and they don't then get the recognition that they deserve.
I used to love it in my mum's care home because they used to have Employee of the Month, and they
Yes,
would put little signage up in the lift and
yes,
on the
yeah.
floor. And I
Uh,
quite liked that because I thought it was nice that they were recognising, and you could,
yes,
as a family member, I could nominate somebody, and they had a
yes,
box in reception, and you could
yes.
drop your
Put it
nomination in. Yeah, and I thought
definitely.
that was
Yeah,
quite
definitely.
nice.
So providers do have to think of, especially if they can't afford to do the financial, reward, to think of other initiatives in which they could recognize, staff, take them for a day out, or something, just to show the appreciation, because obviously the more they are being recognized, the more they would give as well.
Definitely.
And it is challenging.
Yeah.
It's challenging,
So,
yeah.
what's the next steps for your business, Donna? What are you thinking over the next year or so? What are you up to?
Yes, so that's a very, very good question, Debbie. Besides thinking of going to Trinidad, where
Oh,
I'm from,
lovely. Not at the moment, though. There's hurricanes out there. You don't want to be going out there at the moment.
oh my God, how did you know that? Oh
Yeah,
my
saw it on
God.
the news. The poor
Yeah,
people in Grenada have been hit, but not too
yes,
bad, not as bad as they thought, but it's heading towards
yes. Oh
Jamaica.
my God.
Love
Well, I'm
Jamaica.
amazing you're aware of that, because I asked my own sister who is from there, and she didn't even know. So, there's a hurricane out in the West Indies. So I was speaking to my strategy partner this morning, in terms of, we had our leadership seminar on Saturday that was well attended, and we were asking for more, and I was thinking, well, to move forward, what do we do? And it's all about giving my, what else do they want? I'm asking the question, how we can be of value to them. So it's just strategies around that, in
Mm,
terms of workshops, in terms of meetings. We are planning our next award,
yeah,
next year, 2000. We went to the House of Commons. I don't know where we're going to go next. Yes, and they wanted more time, so we want to enhance that with a proper dinner for next year. So it's really all about, what value can I give in the next coming months? How can I help my clients in what they do? The challenges, they've got things like tenders and contracts,
yeah,
the local authority.
yeah,
So are they prepared? Are they, ready to obtain some of these tenders and contracts? So supporting them as much as possible.
yeah. And of course, by the time this podcast airs, we may have a change of government,
That's
which may
right.
change things again, mightn't
It
it, for
takes
the care
things. We might
sector?
see, that's right. We might see some more funds going into the local authority. How amazing that would be.
That would. Let's keep our fingers and toes crossed on that one,
Fingers and toes
because
crossed.
it's yeah, I mean, I've, as I
Yeah.
said at the start, I've had personal experience, and it's
Yes.
very difficult, really difficult, and I could see how much work goes into running a care home. It's
Yes.
extraordinary, the
Yeah,
actual
definitely.
day-to-day
Definitely.
running of that as an operation. You're almost running a mini hospital. I mean,
Exactly. And a
it
lot of
is
these
that.
managers, a lot of them are stressed. A lot of
Mm,
them need to spend some time checking their own well-being. So it is not easy out there, and it's not
mm.
easy being, in the sector at this time.
I love the fact, though, that you have built this support network for this
Yes,
industry, and that
yes,
they've got each other to bounce ideas off as well as
yes,
yourself. And you've
yeah,
built quite a community
Mm.
around it. And I think that's what a lot of industries need, is that community and that
Yeah.
sense of, if I'm going through this challenge, there's going to be somebody else
Yes.
also
You're not alone.
going through that challenge. I was interviewing another person who organizes awards as well earlier today. And,
Okay.
she goes through the same challenges I do, that everybody applies for the awards at the last minute. And we were talking about all of that, and
Yes.
how, when you talk to people in the awards industry, we all have similar problems. And I guess it's the same for the care sector. They're all going to have similar issues.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it's amazing what you've set up. So,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
for joining me
Oh
today.
my
I
God, it's been
really think
oh
it's
gosh,
been
it's an
great
honor. Yeah.
chatting to you about all of
Thank
this.
you
And
so much.
we'll make sure that Donna's links are in the show notes. So if
Right.
you are somebody thinking of going into the care sector and you want advice, you can contact Donna for help and support. Or if you're already the owner of a care home, or you have a domiciliary care business, and you're getting a bit, stressed and struggled with it all, then get in touch with Donna and she'll be able to help you and welcome you into her community. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Wish you
Thank you so
continued
much, Debbie, for
success.
having me. Thank
I
you
love what
so
you're
much. It's been
doing.
an honor.
Yeah,
You
brilliant.
too. You too. And you keep up the good work as well.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you. So
care.
take care. Take
Thanks.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.